The ideas presented in this video may be used by anyone without compensating or even acknowledging me, because here are products and services we want.
When I first heard of the Apple Watch, I was excited until I learned its features. As other smartwatches rolled out, I looked and looked for the type of watch I wanted. I haven't found it. It's not that smartwatches aren't handy for some, but they just don't have what I want. So here's my alternative to the smartwatch. An intelligent watch has apps and in many ways is similar to a smartwatch. But, by definition, an intelligent watch does not have any Wi-Fi, cellular, or Bluetooth. It can have a pedometer or heart monitoring, I suppose, but I want the option of turning those off. I picture the intelligent watch as a watch that actually does things by itself and without the security risk of being hacked. Of course, some developers may be thinking about how this would be hard to do short of opening a third app market. Droid and Apple have left little room for another party, unless you shift the paradigm. You have to offer something different, not a copy of Droid or Apple. I envision a watch with an extensive collection of built-in apps. Think about it, never having to search for apps, or buy them, or tolerate ads. You just buy the watch, and straight out of the box, you have everything. And the developer, after the initial work on the front end, doesn't have to constantly worry about security updates, or maintaining some kind of network or marketplace. Plus, they save the cost and space of the hardware needed for connections. Here's what I'm picturing. The watch will have 4 physical buttons on the sides. If the watch doesn't respond to the motion of your wrist, pushing the upper right button once will display the time. Push it while it is showing the time and it will display the menu, or vice versa. While in an app, pushing it will close the app, not minimize it, close it. Unless it needs to be running in the background like a timer. Then it can close once it has performed its function. A long hold on this button will take it to disability setup. Please consult with more than one member of each of the relevant communities such as blind, colorblind, deaf, etc. I imagine the deaf would like a mute all that actually mutes all, since they wouldn't know if sound was annoying people. The blind should have audio features and be able to select among various display options, including a blank screen that still responds to touch. But don't make that their only option. Most of the blind actually do see something, just not much of it. Just make sure to actually bring the disabled in on it, or you'll be making a watch based on myths about disability instead of one they can use. Now the other 3 buttons can have assigned functions while an app is running, but they can also be reassignable shortcut keys to specific apps direct from blank, time, or menu screens. By default, I suggest calculator, flashlight, and stopwatch/timer. The owner can then change those as desired. Of course, it would be nice to be able to set up a security feature since watches are easy to steal. Something that would sense it was leaving the wrist without the 4-digit code authorizing removal. Then it could make noise, vibrate, and flash its light until the code is entered. This should probably be off by default. Now, all the features in the world won't be any good if it isn't good and versatile at displaying the time and the alarms. There should be tons of options, everything from fonts, size, placement, and colors. Analog style should be able to choose whether there is a second hand and whether the other 2 hands are the same color or not. Arabic numbers, Roman numerals, tick marks, or a combination. Square or circle. What else is displayed? Other time zones, by name or city. The date, which format? A selection of background pictures would be nice, your typical nature photos and generic backgrounds, but don't forget that at least some of the owners will be geeks. A selection of astronomy photos and other sciencey things, old maps, etc. Have holiday options and allow them to download family photos. Plus, you might license some images from franchises. You might even have some simple animations as backgrounds, like lava lamp or day and night shadow. Of course, you'll need some presets as well, a few basics, plus a gear or other classic looking watches, etc. Be creative, like a sundial. Or one could be a world clock like this. The local time is in bold. The other time zones, selected by the owner, are in order and pointing to the sideways world map, so you can see where the win is. Plus, you can do the day and night animation on the map, and show the dividing lines between the days. On the alarm side of things, you'll also need options. A variety of sounds, from siren to gentle sounds that don't give the light sleepers heart attacks. Seriously, light sleepers need alarms too. Plus, vibrate and flashing lights options. Some might need all three, some just one. Among the options should be snooze, no snooze, and anti-snooze. Anti-snooze can increase in intensity if the owner desires. Make that optional too, but can only be turned off by tapping the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. And since the numbers will be in a random rearrangement each morning and are dimly lit, it forces you to wake up enough to get it right. Then there's the opportunity for scheduled alarms, setting that 6 a.m. alarm only for the weekdays, for example, or by individual days, say Sundays at 8 a.m., Monday through Thursday at 6 a.m., Friday at 5:30 a.m., and none on Saturday. Plus the ability to do exceptions, such as Monday, 13/2022. The morning alarm goes off at 4 a.m. instead of 6, so you can go out to that out-of-town function. But it goes back to 6 a.m. for your average Monday. Or maybe you turn off or reschedule your wake-up alarm during your vacation period, without having to worry about remembering to reset it. Then there could be alarms for the second Tuesday of every month, which may or may not be an exception. A once-off alarm, an annual/semi/biannual alarm to set an appointment or check something, an every 4 years alarm to renew your ID, and the option for alarms to be remembered or to self-delete after use. Now let's look at apps. Should there be a camera? Remember that a watch usually can't do more than selfies, which a phone can do better. I'm not saying no, but I will say if that camera doesn't have at least 5 megapixels and 720p HD, then it is just a gimmick and I don't want it. But whether or not it has a camera, it does need a light sensor. So when I set the brightness level inside my home, it will sense the increased outdoor light and increase the brightness level to compensate. It would be useful to be able to set 2 points so that when you set it indoors and then go outdoors and set the second point, the watch will then be able to extrapolate the rest. A pinhole mic for memos, other recordings, and decibel measurement/warning is also a good idea. Moving on to the stopwatch/timer function. While the timer should simply be an easy set and start, the stopwatch should use the physical buttons. The idea is that you can be looking at whatever you're timing and push the button by feel. This concept of mixing touchscreen with physical buttons can extend to any application where it helps to do it by feel and or keeps your fingers out of the way of the visuals. You can also have a button app. That's an app that you simply push and it performs its function without opening up a window, then allowing you to do it, and then making you close the app. For example, a ding bell app or a red shift app. Because red light doesn't mess with your night vision as much, people like astronomers or hunters might like to be able to turn the screen into a red monochrome for a while. Other useful apps could include a digital compass, a conversion table/calculator for things like measurements or Roman numerals, a pitch pipe, metronome, a coin flipping, level, first aid tips, medical information fill out with the option to display with the time/menu or to have an indicated shortcut key, Morse code capability for light and or sound by tapping or typing and which can be set up on repeat if you aren't up to continually tapping. Make sure there's a preset SOS option for this. A calendar with the ability to have annual events like birthdays, simply archived events, or self-deleting events. Address book with preset hotlines listed. Dictionary, thesaurus, and doubtless there are other tools that you could think of. There could be educational apps for those kids that own one, ABCs, numbers, and you had better include how to tell time. Don't forget MP3 player for music and audiobooks. Which leads me to the speaker. With no Bluetooth and auxiliary jacks taking up too much space to tie a cord from your wrist to your head, you need a loud enough speaker in a small package. The economical tweeter is in regular watches, and while it doesn't have the dynamic range of other speakers, it does decently at a decent price and has enough volume. Finally, a word about games. Tic-tac-toe should have a 1 or 2 player option. In pinball, the flippers should be operated by the lower buttons, and since it is a small screen, it might help if the sound effects indicate up, down, left, right. Other games could include Pong, Blocks, Racing, Tetris, and other arcade games. You could throw in a follow-the-pattern type of game, sliding puzzles. You could have dice in case you're playing a game in the back of the car and don't want to lose the game dice. Just make sure the game fits the screen well. While I know that chess or checkers could be made to fit into the watch, it wouldn't be good for repeated play. Don't limit yourself to just what I've listed here. There are other apps that would work well on a watch that I haven't thought of yet. To help protect both individual privacy and national security, a country's electronics should, as much as possible, be built in country and never imported from a nation hostile to freedom.
If you'd like this product or service to be available, let people know by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you know someone who could do something about it, share this video.